House of the Dragon is back with what is basically the season 2 penultimate episode before the episode cut happened. I was planning on only doing a full season review, but there's a lot to talk about here. I'll start with general spoiler-free thoughts and then we'll go into spoilers later. Timestamps below if you want to avoid spoilers. I feel very weird about the episode because I liked it, but there's an air to it with when it's coming out that leaves me feeling odd. This is clearly meant to be part of season 2. The character arcs and plot developments are all influenced by that build-up. However, you can tell this was filmed as a season opener. There's moments where there's a good momentum building off the season 2 finale, notably everything with Rhaenyra. However, overall the first half has a feeling to it I can't quite pinpoint after a first watch. I can't tell if it's my brain being aware of it being a season opener or the episode is purposely written as a quickly catch up with the characters before the big battle. Ormond Hightower is a character that was obviously meant to be in season 2. He's mentioned in I think 3 episodes building up to his first appearance, so he might be the character most affected by this finale being pushed into an opener. Although there's a character I can't talk about without spoilers that might take the crown more. I'm interested in Ormond though. In the weeks ahead trailer, he's the standout in his role in the season, and I can't wait to watch him more once the season settles into its main arc. I really liked the Gullet. I'll go more in depth with spoilers, but the craft on screen here is impressive and the entire team deserve praise for their practical and VFX work. I'm not a fan with how the show keeps using shallow depth of focus in shots, but that's my main gripe with it overall. Everything else looks incredible and the money pays off massively. It's definitely a weird opener, but one I mostly liked, and instead of having a, well, that's the season peak over with feeling I was worried about, I'm more excited to see the rest of the season than this, especially the next 2 episodes. I'm going to delve into spoilers now because you honestly can't discuss this episode at all without spoilers, and I won't be comparing it to the book because even though I know the majority of what happens, it's easier to stick to the show only when I haven't read it. Let's start with Rhaenyra, who has a very interesting episode. She takes a step back from the limelight because she's locked in her room, even though they never showed them checking the second door at the back. I imagine the characters did check this door and maybe the show had a scene showing this originally, but I find it hilarious this isn't shown because for all we know it could have been opened and the eventual events could have been avoided. But the show is adapting the books, so things have to happen. And Rhaenyra's scenes in this confinement are fascinating. I love this through line in the whole show of Rhaenyra's identity as a ruler. In season 1 there's a few instances of her debating how differently she would be treated if she was a man, and in season 2 we see her own balance between being a mother and a ruler conflict with each other. Her council don't take her seriously, and the scene of her ripping the dress was great in my opinion. I love the line of,
"I may appear to have the weak and feeble body of a woman, but I possess the heart and spirit of a king."
and Emma Darcy as always is phenomenal. Rhaenyra has a clear shift in this episode. She's going to go to King's Landing no matter what, and is ready to go to the Gullet as in her eyes the Green's defeat is written. Darcy plays this really well. There's an almost newfound happiness that comes from her when we open this episode with her talking to the council, but this doesn't last long until Jace locks her in so he can go to battle. Before we move on to Jace and the Gullet, as they're the obvious talking point of the whole episode, I'll talk about a few other things quickly. Aegon and Larys are fun in this episode. We only see a bit of them, but from what we know about where the season goes from here, I'm interested in how this will all play out. Rhaenyra finally riding that dragon was a relief, but also frustrating with how divided it is between the last season. She obviously had to mount Sheepstealer only now, but I wish everything before this was condensed together because it was frustrating how we'd get a few seconds then cut away last season. Daemon's small runtime was used well. After Harrenhal was a bit divisive in season 2, it felt like they knew his opening scenes had to be some action. I know this battle was in the books, but I just found it funny. I have no real feelings on the Alicent and Aemon scenes. I just felt very whatever on anything that happened as it was very expected, apart from this part. Right, the Gullet. On the action side of things, I like the sea battle and the dragons. Both were shot well and you can tell there's a clear vision behind every dragon shot. The cameras are alive and the 2-year wait pays off on this front as you can tell the battle has been planned extensively. However, the hand-to-hand stuff was awkward for me. It shot very tight already, but the quick cuts made it a bit of a headache to watch, and I was just happy whenever we cut away from it. Sheepstealer was a menace to this. Reminds me of the line about how controlling the dragons was just an illusion, and the design of Sheepstealer is fantastic. Jace's death was sort of well handled to me. On the other hand, Lohar's death made me feel nothing. For a character we spend so much time with, I felt whatever about her, and like I said earlier with Ormond, I think she's the character most affected by the episode cut. If this was originally 10 episodes like planned, I don't think the death would feel as weightless, but after what is multiple years of build-up, it feels that way. Oh, I just remembered I forgot to mention Criston Cole at all. I think that sums up his character. Overall, I liked this episode, not to the extent as other people, and it solidified to me I'm more excited for the Rhaenyra arc this season than any of the battles that are being promoted. Maybe a rewatch would help me feel stronger about certain parts, but right now it's a 4 out of 5 for me because while some parts are incredibly strong, I feel off about certain parts. If you've seen the first episode of season 3, let me know what you thought and thank you for watching.